In 2021 alone, stroke claimed the lives of 162,890 people in the United States. That's equivalent to 1 in every 21 deaths. On average, one person dies from a stroke every 3 minutes and 14 seconds, according to the CDC 2021. And this isn't just a number, it's a serious warning that the brain's blood vessels in people over 60 are under more pressure than ever before. But what few people would expect is that a familiar vitamin, the one you take every night to nourish the blood and slow aging, may actually be weakening the blood vessel walls in your brain day by day and silently increasing your risk of stroke while you sleep. Before making this video, we spent hours carefully reading and cross-checking the latest medical research from journals like the BMJ, British Medical Journal, Stroke and Vascular Neurology, and the EFSA Journal 2024, to official reports from the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as well as guidelines from the NIH and WHO. If you'd like to read further, all research sources are listed below the video, so you can easily look them up. If you find this information helpful, don't forget to hit like so the algorithm spreads it to more people your age, and subscribe to the channel to receive a daily video on healthy living. Simple and stress-free. Let's get started. Number 1. Vitamin E, when an anti-aging pill could leave you unable to move. Every night, many older adults remind one another, take vitamin E for glowing skin, a healthy heart, and to stay youthful. That little vitamin capsule is always there on the shelf. No prescription needed, no second thoughts. Just one pill a day, seemingly harmless. But if you look closely at the label, it likely says DL-alpha-tocopherol, a synthetic form. And this very form, according to recent studies, can cause excessive blood thinning, which is especially dangerous if you're also taking aspirin or anticoagulants. Thinner blood may sound like a good thing, but if your brain's blood vessels are already fragile due to age, then the risk of a rupture or brain hemorrhage becomes very real. What does science say about this form of vitamin E? In small amounts from food, vitamin E is a beneficial antioxidant. It helps protect nerve cells and prevent damage to blood vessels. But when taken in high doses, especially in synthetic form like DL-alpha-tocopherol, it can become a double-edged sword, particularly dangerous for people over 60. One of the most striking studies came from the British Medical Journal in 2004 through the alpha-tocopherol beta-carotene study. Nearly 30,000 men in Finland were followed for 5 to 8 years. The results, those who took high-dose vitamin E, 50 milligrams per day, had a 22% higher risk of brain hemorrhage compared to the non-supplement group. The risk was even higher among older individuals with weakened vessels, or those taking anticoagulants like aspirin or warfarin. Similarly, a meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Nutrition in 2018, Wang et al., summarizing 18 studies found, vitamin E from food sources like sunflower seeds, olive oil, slightly reduced the overall risk of stroke, RR equals 0.83. But supplemental vitamin E, especially in high doses, did not lower stroke risk and might even slightly increase the risk of brain hemorrhage, especially if you're on aspirin or blood thinners. A more recent observational study, published in 2023 in Stroke and Vascular Neurology, Tian et al., analyzed 2,232 hypertensive patients in China. It found those with blood vitamin E levels greater than or equal to 14.1 micrograms per milliliter had a significantly higher risk of first-time ischemic stroke, especially individuals aged 66 and older who didn't smoke or drink alcohol. Why does this paradox happen? At high blood concentrations, vitamin E can shift from being an antioxidant to a pro-oxidant, meaning it disrupts oxidative balance, damages the blood vessel lining, triggers inflammation, increases platelet adhesion, and raises the risk of cerebral vessel constriction, or rupture. Notably, according to the latest 2024 report from EFSA, the European Food Safety Authority, while they maintain the safe upper limit, UL, for vitamin E at 300 milligrams per day, 450 international units per day, they also caution adverse effects may occur at doses of 540 milligrams per day or more, especially with prolonged use or among older adults with more sensitive vascular systems. Therefore, the key isn't to completely avoid vitamin E, but to understand which forms are safe, at what doses, and in what health context after age 60. Subtle warning signs you should watch for. If you're currently taking synthetic vitamin E, DL-alpha tocopherol, especially along with aspirin, warfarin, or blood pressure medications, take a moment to check for these subtle signs. Do you bruise easily? A light bump while cleaning or brushing your hand against the bed frame, and a large bruise appears, even though you don't recall hitting anything. Do you often have nosebleeds or bleeding gums, even when brushing gently? Tiny capillary-rich areas like your nasal lining or gums are the first to show signs of clotting issues. Do you feel lightheaded or slightly off balance when you get up in the morning? Don't just blame it on aging. Sometimes it's a sign your blood is too thin and your brain isn't getting enough oxygen. Do you notice occasional blurry vision or unusual fatigue, even after a full night's sleep? Be cautious. These could be your brain's blood vessels signaling trouble with circulation. If you notice 2 or more of these symptoms, especially while taking blood thinners, stop taking synthetic vitamin E and consult your doctor. A simple blood test can check your clotting index or plasma vitamin levels, allowing timely adjustments. Because sometimes what seems beneficial may be silently wearing down your blood vessels day by day. So how can you stay safe and still get enough vitamin E? The key is knowing how to choose the right form, the right dose, and the right source. 1. Avoid the synthetic form DL-alpha tocopherol. If the bottle of vitamin you're taking says DL-alpha tocopherol, that is a synthetic, non-natural form. A large-scale study involving 29,133 men in Finland, known as the alpha tocopherol beta-carotene cancer prevention study, published in the British Medical Journal, 2004, showed taking 50 milligrams of vitamin E per day, DL-alpha tocopherol, for 5 to 8 years increased the risk of hemorrhagic stroke by 22% compared to non-users, especially in individuals over 60 and those on blood-thinning medications. 2. Prioritize vitamin E from natural food sources. Vitamin E from food is not only safer, but also provides better protection for your blood vessels. According to a meta-analysis by Wang et al., 2018, published in the British Journal of Nutrition, which reviewed 18 studies, including both interventional and observational research, the conclusion was, vitamin E from food sources is associated with a slight reduction in overall stroke risk, RR equals 0.83, whereas supplemental vitamin E, particularly at high doses, does not reduce stroke risk and tends to increase the risk of brain hemorrhage, especially in individuals taking aspirin or warfarin. Natural food sources rich in vitamin E include sunflower seeds, almonds, cold-pressed olive oil, spinach, avocado, pumpkin, salmon. These foods provide natural D-alpha tocopherol combined with gamma and delta tocopherols and other antioxidants, offering more comprehensive protection for brain blood vessels. 3. If supplementation is needed, choose the right form and dosage. In some cases, supplementation is necessary, but you should prioritize products that clearly state D-alpha tocopherol plus mixed tocopherols. Do not contain the synthetic form, DL-alpha. are taken in doses below 150 international units per day, unless prescribed by a doctor. According to the latest evaluation by EFSA, the European Food Safety Authority, 2024, the tolerable upper intake level, UL, for vitamin E remains 300 milligrams per day, approximately 450 international units for adults. However, EFSA also emphasized, adverse effects may begin to appear at 540 milligrams per day, especially in older adults or those with underlying vascular conditions due to reduced ability to regulate blood clotting. And the final, but most important, note: if you are taking aspirin, warfarin, or any blood-thinning medication, consult your doctor before taking any form of vitamin E, even the natural kind. Number 2. Vitamin D. When a bone health pill silently turns your blood vessels to stone without you knowing. Every night before bed, millions of people over 60 take a vitamin D pill. They believe just one small pill to strengthen my bones, sleep better, and ease joint pain as I age. But if you're taking 5,000 or even 10,000 IU per day, especially if you take it at night, then you need to listen closely to this part. Because according to the latest medical research, this habit may increase your risk of stroke while sleeping, even if you have no history of high blood pressure or diabetes. What does science say about high-dose vitamin D at night? In low doses, vitamin D is essential for bone and immune health, but in high doses over a prolonged period, especially taken at night, it can create a rebound effect on your blood vessels and brain. According to research published in the EFSA Journal 2024, the maximum safe dose of vitamin D for adults should only be 4,000 international units per day, which is equivalent to 100 micrograms. Prolonged intake beyond this threshold may cause hypercalcemia, a risk factor for arterial calcification, irregular heart rhythms, and hardening of the blood vessels. A study from Kaiser Permanente Medical Center, USA, found that people with blood vitamin D levels above 100 nanograms per milliliter had double the risk of brain hemorrhage compared to those with normal levels. Notably, most people in this high-risk group were self-supplementing with high doses without regular testing. An analysis published in Stroke and Vascular Neurology, 2022, in China, which tracked over 2,200 older adults with high blood pressure, discovered those with the highest serum vitamin D levels had a significantly higher rate of first-time ischemic stroke, especially among people who didn't smoke or drink alcohol. Why is it so dangerous? Vitamin D promotes calcium absorption. When oversupplemented, calcium doesn't just go to your bones, it also accumulates in your bloodstream. Over time, this causes blood vessels to calcify, hardening like old plumbing pipes. In the aging brain, where vessels are already fragile, this increases the risk of sudden blockages, spasms, or ruptures during sleep. Moreover, taking vitamin D at night may suppress melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep and blood pressure. This disrupts the natural nighttime dip in blood pressure, a protective mechanism that is especially important for older adults. Subtle warning signs to watch for. If you're taking high-dose vitamin D and notice any of the following signs, they may be early warnings. Rapid heartbeat at night, especially while lying still. Brief morning dizziness or mild confusion upon waking. Frequent urination, dry mouth, unexplained thirst. Unstable blood pressure, difficult to control with medication. Mild nausea, loss of appetite, especially after taking your vitamin. These are early symptoms of hypercalcemia, a condition high-dose vitamin D may silently cause. So how do you take it correctly and safely? Take it only in the morning, not after 3 p.m. Do not exceed 2,000 IU per day unless directed by a doctor. If taking more than 2,000 IU per day, get a blood test every 6 months to monitor 25 OHD and serum calcium levels. Boost natural vitamin D through morning sunlight, salmon, eggs, mushrooms, and fortified milk. You take vitamin D to protect your bones. But if used incorrectly, you may unknowingly turn your blood vessels to stone and invite an unexpected stroke. After age 60, your body needs nutrients. But in the right dose, at the right time, and in the right way. Have you ever checked your blood vitamin D level? How many IU are you taking each day? Leave a comment below to share with the community. Number 3. Vitamin B6, the brain booster that may silently paralyze the very nerves you're trying to protect. Every morning, many people over 60 start their day with a brain booster, memory enhancer, anti-numbness pill. They believe vitamin B6 is a safe choice because it's just a supplement, and any excess will be flushed out by the body. But what many don't know is vitamin B6 isn't flushed out as easily as we think. It accumulates silently, especially in the peripheral nervous system. And one day, the legs begin to lose balance. The hands tremble slightly when pouring water. It feels like walking on cotton, and the mind grows foggy each morning. All of this seems like normal aging, but may actually come from the supposedly harmless vitamin you've been taking daily. What does science say about high-dose vitamin B6? In small amounts, about 1.5 to 2 milligrams per day, vitamin B6 is essential for energy metabolism and nervous system function. But when supplemented excessively, especially beyond 50 milligrams per day, vitamin B6 is no longer harmless, as many assume. It starts to build up along nerve endings, damaging the myelin sheath, the protective layer that helps transmit signals between the brain and muscles. Once this protective layer is damaged, you may gradually lose control over movement, from simple gripping to maintaining balance while walking. According to the latest recommendations from the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, in 2023, the maximum safe limit for adults is just 12 milligrams of vitamin B6 per day. However, the reality on the market is very different. Many brain booster, circulation, nerve support supplements contain up to 100 or even 200 milligrams of B6 per pill. That's 8 to 16 times the safe limit. And if taken daily over several months, the risk becomes unavoidable. These concerns are not just theoretical. A study conducted in South Korea, published in the Journal of Clinical Neurology in 2022, followed 555 patients with symptoms of numbness, weakness in hands and feet, and loss of balance. The findings showed 17% of them had used high-dose vitamin B6 for an extended period, mainly over 100 milligrams per day. After discontinuation, some patients gradually recovered, but alarmingly, 31% suffered permanent nerve damage, with no full recovery possible. Additionally, the U.S. National Institutes of Health, NIH, issued a clear warning in 2021. Vitamin B6 should not exceed 100 milligrams per day, even for short periods. Many cases of neurological toxicity have been documented after just 2 to 6 months of continuous use. What's troubling is that users often don't realize the risk because the symptoms come on slowly and are easily mistaken for aging or degenerative nerve disorders. But in reality, shaky legs or persistent tingling may have started with just one seemingly harmless pill. Subtle warning signs you should watch for. You may feel nothing unusual until mild tingling in your hands or feet, especially at night. The sensation of walking on cotton. Slight disorientation while moving. Trembling hands when buttoning a shirt or handwriting becomes harder. Mild confusion in the morning. difficulty focusing, forgetfulness. Unexplained falls. Even though your vision and reflexes seem fine, most of these signs are easily confused with aging. But they are actually early symptoms of vitamin B6 toxicity. So how do you take it correctly? If you're not deficient, don't supplement unnecessarily. Only take less than 10 milligrams per day unless prescribed by a doctor. Prioritize dietary sources: salmon, bananas, whole grains, sweet potatoes, sunflower seeds. Check the label carefully if you're using a nerve support pill. Many don't clearly list B6 dosage. If you notice any signs of tingling, tremors, or confusion, get a blood test and stop B6 immediately. You take vitamin B6 to preserve memory, but if misused, that very pill could be silently eroding the nerve pathways that send signals throughout your body. After age 60, your body doesn't need more nutrients, just the right amount, at the right time, and absorbed the right way. Have you ever checked how many milligrams of B6 are in the supplement you're taking? If you have experiences or questions, leave a comment below to share with the community. Number 4. Vitamin B3, the circulation booster that can make you dizzy, collapse, or lose balance if used incorrectly. Every morning, millions of people over 60 take a vitamin B3 pill, also known as niacin, to improve circulation, lower cholesterol, and reduce numbness in hands and feet. Many take doses of 100 milligrams, even 500 milligrams per day, simply thinking, "It's a vitamin, it must be safe." But what you may not know is, niacin is not just a vitamin. It's a potent pharmacological agent, and if you're taking it every day, take a few minutes to listen closely, because that dizzy spell you experienced this morning might not be from aging. What does science say about niacin? Niacin is a derivative of vitamin B3 and plays a key role in energy metabolism and cholesterol regulation. When absorbed from food in small amounts, niacin is a safe and essential nutrient. However, when taken in high doses, especially by older adults, niacin can trigger dangerous changes in blood vessels and the central nervous system. One of the most notable studies is the AM-HI trial, published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2011. The study followed over 3,400 cardiovascular patients divided into two groups, one taking only statins and the other combining statins with high-dose niacin, 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams per day. After 3 years, the results showed that adding niacin did not reduce the risk of heart attack or stroke. On the contrary, it increased the incidence of hemorrhagic stroke, liver inflammation, and blood sugar disorders. A larger-scale study, the HPS-2 THRIVE trial, also published in New England Journal of Medicine in 2014, followed nearly 25,000 people over 4 years and reinforced the same conclusion. Although niacin improved lipid profiles, those taking niacin plus statins did not show greater cardiovascular benefit than those on statins alone. Worse, they experienced more complications, from liver damage and peptic ulcers to increased infection risk. Notably, the frequency of transient ischemic attacks, TIAs, warning signs of stroke, also rose significantly. Not only large clinical trials, but also recent review articles have raised red flags. An article in Current Atherosclerosis Reports, 2022, analyzed numerous studies and concluded that even low-dose niacin, 50 to 100 milligrams per day, if taken long-term, could cause excessive vasodilation, postural hypotension, and irregular heartbeat, particularly in adults over 60 with less elastic blood vessels. The Journal of Lipid Research, 2021, further explored the biological mechanism. Niacin activates the GPR109A receptor, causing strong vasodilation in the head and face. The body then reacts by constricting the vessels again to stabilize blood pressure. This cycle of dilation and constriction causes fluctuations in vascular pressure, raising the risk of mini-strokes, leading to dizziness, imbalance, or sudden collapse. All of this data confirms, although niacin is a vitamin, when misused, it can lead to serious consequences, especially in older adults. Subtle warning signs you should watch for. If you're taking vitamin B3 and notice any of these symptoms, don't just dismiss them as normal aging. Sudden facial flushing, warm sensation in the morning, lightheadedness when standing up, brief imbalance, irregular or fast heartbeat, especially while resting, frequent nighttime urination, dry mouth, unexplained fatigue, normal eating habits, but still feeling drained. These are all possible signs of vascular instability or blood sugar disruption caused by high-dose niacin. So how can you safely use vitamin B3 while still supporting circulation? First, if you're taking niacin to lower cholesterol or improve blood flow, reevaluate the dosage. For most people, especially those over 60, the safe dose should not exceed 50 milligrams per day unless specifically prescribed by a cardiologist or lipid specialist. If you're on higher doses, especially 100 milligrams per day or more, it is crucial to monitor liver enzymes, blood pressure, and blood sugar every 3 to 6 months. Be especially cautious with flush-free niacin products, the kind that doesn't cause facial redness, because they may build up silently in the body without early warning signs, yet still affect the liver and blood vessels. Instead of relying entirely on supplements, support your circulation naturally through your daily meals. Salmon, avocado, leafy greens, nuts, and especially a 20-minute light walk each day. These are sustainable, gentle methods, without the hidden risks that come with high-dose niacin. After age 60, what we need is stability, not over-intervention. A well-timed vitamin can help restore your health, but when misused, it can be the very reason you collapse in your own home. Are you taking vitamins every day? Which type do you choose? What dosage? And where do they come from? Share your answers in the comments below so we can learn from each other and protect our health with awareness, not pressure. If today's information was helpful, feel free to click like, so this video can reach more people, especially those who quietly take a pill every night without ever questioning it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, so every day we can explore a new way to live healthier, gently, safely, and with greater understanding. Wishing you strength and peace always.